Hey guys, Kenny here. I'm here to review the 2011 superhero movie, and this is the final film before the Avengers next year. Captain America, the first Avenger. I didn't see this in 3D because I didn't have enough money to pay for that, but I've been hearing to not see it in 3D, so I am glad I didn't. This basically has to do with a young man who played by um, Chris Evans, and his name is Steve Rogers. He's a really small, tiny man and frail looking, and he keeps trying to enlist in the army, but because of his physical appearance and how frail he looks, the army won't let him in, and he's tried to enlist in 5 different places. And then a person called Dr. Abraham Erskine, played by Stanley Tucci. He tells him that he's chosen Steve for the Captain America uh, I don't know, program. I say program because of his good nature and humility, and because of his physical appearance and small stature. Abraham believes that he's the best candidate for being in the being a part of that program. So Steve gets the serum put into him, and then that makes him Captain America. And then that's when he wants to try and go after Red Skull. Johann Schmidt, played by Hugo Weaving, and that's basically what the rest of the story is about. I really did enjoy this. I thought it was a really nice, I don't know, tribute, but a homage to American ideals and beliefs. And I really was impressed with Chris Evans. At first, I thought him as Captain America, I'm not sure, but he totally convinced me. He was good in this, and I thought he was the best part in the two Fantastic Four movies, along with Michael Chiklis, and Chris Evans played Johnny Storm, and AKA the Torch. I think that's what his name was. And Hugo Weaving was fantastic as Johann Schmidt, Red Skull. I really was impressed with how he could do a German accent. That sold me even more. I love the makeup because there are these red lines on the side of his neck. It was like right down here, I think. And if that were real on him, that must really be painful. But I was really impressed with him. Stanley Tucci was another great surprise. He's not in this very much, but I thought he had a very good beginning part in this to get us familiar with the history of how he worked on the serum, and why he started doing it, working on it. And Haley Atwell, she plays that British hot chick that people can't seem to remember the name of. She's the girl who plays the love interest of uh, Steve Rogers, and her name is Peggy Carter, and she's a pretty tough officer in the army. Okay, the first time she's seen where with a lineup of army recruits is hilarious. She decks him. I don't want to spoil anything. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. And she's really good at using guns. So she's not a damsel in distress. She definitely knows how to hold her own and mix it up. And I think that probably does it with the actors. Oh, Howard Stark, he and that character has a, a quite a substantial part in this, and I really thought he brought that character brought a lot of depth to the film. Because we know Howard Stark, he's the father of Tony Stark. So I thought that character was a great uh, addition to this film. And what else? That probably does it. I kind of agree. The first half was a little better, was put together a little bit better than the second half, but I enjoyed it all the way through as a whole. And I was glad also that the like uh, all the American the cheering and being how proud to be an American I am. I'm also glad that wasn't just thrown in your face constantly. It was subtle, and I appreciated that. I think if you were bombarded with it over and over, it would get quite old, and you might not like the Captain America himself much if that had been going on. And I really did enjoy the action in this. It really felt like it was real, and Chris really looked very, very good in the suit. Sometimes I couldn't tell when it was real or when it was a visual effect. I loved the shield. um, it really looked like that's something that was a real thing. Every time he threw it, it clanged onto something or someone, and it was a great weapon and armor for him. I loved the I really did like the second or the final version of the Captain America costume, but there was a first one that's also quite good, and it's pretty funny too. So I'm not gonna say any more on that. And uh, some I if there are probably some things that weren't needed in it, but overall, I thought it was fantastic. So I think my final rating would be 4.5 out of 5 stars. So stay cool and roll out to the movies. Bye.